Hey, hi guys. So in this video, we'll set up OpenAI and we'll also get the API key which we'll use for development. Uh, so basically, we'll be able to use the LLM, the GPT model from OpenAI. So let's go to OpenAI. We'll have to go to products and we'll be using API. So let's just go for API login. So here they have some basic documentation about how to use the SDK and all. This is not Python, this is Node.js. We can see the Python as well. But let's just log in first and uh, set up the account. So you can log in however you want. You can sign up if you don't have an account. It's signing up is free. So yeah, I'll see you after logging in. Okay, great. So once you're logged in, you will again come back to this page. We can go to dashboard. So right now we don't have any requests that are made. So that's why this dashboard is empty. We can set up billing first. So let's go to settings and let's go to billing. Here it shows credit balance as 0. Let's add some credit so that we can actually uh, make API calls. Let's add $10. So I have a card set up here. You can also add like payment method and add your own debit card or credit card here so that you can actually make the payment. They take some tax, which is good. So our country is also getting developed on the way, I guess. Okay, great. I've made the payment and we have added $10 to this account. Uh, Sadly, you'll have to add your own credit card and debit card to your account. I wish I could do it using my card, but at this point, I can't. You'll have to use your own cards. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so let's go to dashboard again and let's go to API keys here. So we can generate a new secrets, and this is let's say this is for my Y copy tutorials. So I'll just name it Y copy tutorial, and for now default project is fine. Yeah, let's just create a secret key. Yeah, we have our secret API key which we can use to basically make API calls and get response from any LLM model which OpenAI provides. I've copied this. I will paste it in some safe place. So once this is done, you will see the API key here. Like you can delete this or uh, edit like name or something, and then permissions also you can edit. But after the tutorial, I'll basically delete this key. So sadly, you will not be able to use it if you have seen the key. But I hope you get your own key and still build the projects. Building is important. Please don't make the cost stop you from building. It doesn't really cost a lot. It costs less. So at least for learning purpose and building projects, it's a good start. Okay, so now that we have our API keys, let's actually build something, use the API key and get the response and see how it works. So going to the docs, let's go to quick start. So it asks us to export this environment variable. Let's just hold on for a minute with this. Let's go to Python and let's install the SDK first. So I'll open a notebook. Our notebook server is already running. I'll just open this. I'll create a new notebook here, and then we can call this install. So installation is done. In fact, it was already installed for me, and then we can run this piece of code. So yeah, it resulted in an error. If you would have guessed, we didn't export the variable yet. Instead of exporting the variable, let's use it like within the code itself. So what we can do is we can send API key here while initializing our OpenAI object, and we can send our API key here. I'll paste the API key here, and then when I run this, we are getting a response now. So this this example is like we are sending a prompt saying you are a helpful assistant. Write a haiku about recursion in programming, and it gave this output. Let's actually print this output properly and see what this is. Function calls itself layers deep, looping through paths, endless echoes call. So it's kind of nice response. But yeah, like this is our very first response from our LLM. So very exciting. Let's go through the code and see what is happening first. So first of all, we are importing this OpenAI SDK, which we have installed here. And then we are initializing a client to use OpenAI. And then we have this chat completion call that we make. Then there are these params that we pass in this call. This is kind of like a request that we send with these parameters. We can do it without the SDK as well, directly through curl command, or even as a post request. But through SDK also we can get the response. Now if you see an interesting thing here, this completion, we have the code, that example code that was there, it prints like choices, 0 of choices, and the message. And this is the message that it contains. We could have gone further and printed like the content itself directly. So we can go dot content. Since this is the content that actually contains the response, we'll get the final string here itself. We'll discuss what all parameters we can send here, and what exactly these parameters also mean, and how to exactly parse this output. Why are we doing like choices of 0 and message? Actually, before talking about the parameters, let me clarify this one thing. So we have put our API key here in the code itself, which is a very bad practice. We did it because I was very excited to get a response at least, but this is not the way to do it. So the way to do it would be to actually export it as an environment variable, and not keep it in the code. So one very good way to do it is using .env files. So let's actually go and create a .env file. So I'll go to the same path. Setting OpenAI is the path here where I'm keeping all the files. You can see this is the notebook file that we have. So I'm just creating a .env file here, and I'll put the environment variable here. So the variable name is OpenAI API key, and I'll put the value here. Okay, so now once this .env file is present in the same directory as that of notebook, we can use something called as python.env. If you go make a Google search, python.env is a package which helps you read the env files. So let's also install that. So we have installed python.env as well now. It's a simple package. Yeah. So we just import this and we call load.env. Let's do it here. So now that this is done, what it does is this load.env function, it will try to find a .env in the same path, and export all of the variables present in that path. So what we can do now is we can remove the API key from here, and now when we run the code, we still get the response without giving an API key because we had ran this, which in turn exported our variables. So this is good because whatever variables we want, we can keep placing in the .env, and this will automatically export all those variables so that our code will be clean, and no API key will be pushed in the code itself directly. And this is a good practice to have. So we'll always use this .env in our code, and we'll always assume that the API keys are exported using this. Great. So now that we have this cleaned up, let's go back to the documentation, and let's actually start diving in deeper with the API reference now. So let's go to this endpoint section. So with OpenAI, you can do like a lot of things. You can they have like fine tuning, they have embeddings API, they have audio related API, image related. We are interested in this chat one for now because we are dealing with LLMs. Let's get to know like properly what it means, what these parameters are. So you can see like it has like a chat completion post request. Internally, SDK also makes this request itself with these parameters, right? So they are giving like the Python version as well on the side. So this is what we did, chat completion with a certain model. We used 4o mini, but they are showing 4o. So models we can decide. Let's go through the parameters one by one. Since we started with the model, let's go through this parameter first. Idea of the model to use. So OpenAI has like bunch of models which we can use. If you just search for OpenAI models, I think you'll get the list. Yeah. So right now, 4o mini are some of the like O1 preview is I think the latest, the hottest model right now. But yeah, these are all the models that are there. GPT-4, GPT 3.5 Turbo. These are all very good models. There are these other models as well which you get access to. DALL-E is like for generating images based on some prompts. So you can also do these things. TTS is to generate audio by giving like a text, and so on and so forth. Like these are different models that we can see. But we are mostly interested in these top models which are actual LLMs where which we'll use to build products. Now, I mean, it really depends on the use case and how much you are willing to pay and what kind of accuracy you want. But for our case, it says like our affordable and intelligent small model fast. So let's actually just go ahead with 4o mini. Like if you click on it, it shows the actual model tag that you can use in the code. So these tags we can actually use in the code. So this 4o mini and then hyphen some date. This is like a constant file. So this 4o mini they can keep updating, but this is like a proper snapshot which they won't update. So like even this model, it currently points to the same 7.18 one. So even this is like basically same like right now. But interesting thing here is like context window. So this is 128K and then around 16K of output tokens. So what does this mean is max output tokens is that other than your input tokens, how many output tokens can it generate? So you can read some part of the description as well about the model. So they are saying like it is a multimodal model which can accept text and images, text or images. So basically you can do like some question answering over images as well. You can send an image and ask questions like Does it contain something, or like whatever questions you have about that image as well, which is very interesting. So it has higher intelligence than 3.5 turbo. So why not use 4 mini itself, right? And then 3.5 turbo is basically not multimodal, so it can only run with text. Even GPT-4 is just text, not multimodal. So 4.0 and 4.0 mini are multimodal, where you can send images as well. This is about model. Let's go back to the reference. Messages is another parameter. So here messages is like a list of objects, and each object contains content which actually contains the message, and there is a role. Now this role can basically have these 4 5 types of messages. This can be like a system message, where role is system, and or user message, where role will be user, or it can be an assistant message, where role will be assistant, and then there is tool message, where role is a tool. There is this function message as well, which they have deprecated, so we need not worry much about this, but basically tool takes care of this function message. So you don't have to worry too much about this. We'll go in depth about each of these types and what they have, what they mean. But we'll go in detail about these when we talk about chat applications. It's useful there. But right now, if you are building like a single prompt system, just remember you need not even use user. You can basically take this command and just use one single system message and remove this user message altogether. So your messages contain only one single object, which is your system message, and it says like whatever command or query that you have. It's always advisable to use system if you are using like a single prompt, and not use user message. We'll see like why we use user and system different messages when we talk about chat applications. But for now, whenever you have like one single prompt, you need not break it in user and system. I mean, you can do it. It doesn't make a huge difference. But there are some forums that I have seen where people say like it's better to use system message. So just remember, for our simple application, like whatever we'll build in 1 or 2 videos, one prompt is enough, one single message is enough, which has system message. And don't worry, we'll talk about other messages and how it's used, why it's used, while we do the chat application part. So let's run this code, and let's actually confirm that even this gives us the output. So let me print the content. In code's deep embrace, a call returns to itself. Endless loop of thought. So yeah, even this is a good one. But you see, even this works. Like there's no harm in writing like one single message here. Okay, so that is about messages. At a high level, it can be used to keep track of the history of the chat in a chat kind of format. But underlying fundamental, you should always remember that it's an LLM, and this is what goes to the LLM, and this is what we are getting out of the LLM as completion. So always remember that. The other field is store. We need not worry too much about the store part. It's basically useful when we want to like when we use the applications in production, and where we want to store the requests and response, so that we can maybe fine tune or evaluate later on with other different models. For now it's fine at a beginner level, you need not worry, but you can always come here, read about it more. This will always be false by default, but you can add it here and set it to true if you want. Yeah, like let's not discuss much about this. It's not needed at this point, but definitely this is something that you can look at. So other parameter is metadata, where developer defined tags and values are used for filtering completions on dashboard. So again, like this is another field that we can add here, but this is again like not needed for the product building as such, but good to know that we can add some metadata. And then we have these other parameters. So frequency penalty, I was just reading this. Even I wasn't aware of this parameter. I think they recently added. It says numbers between -2 to 2, and then positive value penalizes new token based on the existing frequency of text so far. So maybe like it doesn't repeat that much if you keep this number high. Uh, like yeah, like these are all optional parameters again. They have like default values set, and I think these parameters that are there, this we can come and tweak later on when we actually build a product and we see some things not working. We can come back here and see how we can improve it. So let's not discuss like every single parameter, I guess. You can always come back here, read, and maybe they also keep adding like more parameters. So this list will never be complete, I guess. So max tokens is another one which they deprecated. They're saying like max completion token is what they use right now. So this is for limiting the number of tokens that it generates. Let's say we add like max tokens to just 2 tokens here and we run it. So you see like the content, it only contains 2 words here. Let me just print the content. So yeah, it prints only 2 words because we asked it to limit it to only 2 words. We can add like 4. So right now it generated 4 tokens. Now you might say like these are 3 words, but OpenAI does some different tokenization. There is a different tokenization model that is being used. So most probably either end or less are different word, or either un or fold, I think might have been separated. Yeah, mostly it's un and fold which got separated, or maybe even s. Unfold is one and s is another token, maybe. I need to check that, but yeah, basically these are 4 tokens where it stopped and it didn't generate the complete haiku. So coming back here, now this is n. N is like how many chat completions you want. So even in chat GPT you might have seen like sometimes it gives 2 options, 2 responses, 2 different responses for the same query. So this is what this is like. You can basically set it to how many ever choices you want, how many ever response choices you want. Let's try it out. Let's remove this. It can be like default, and let's actually print choices now rather than 0th choice, so you'll understand like what is happening. Now if you see this, we'll print 0th choice, and we'll also print first choice here. Oh, let's actually keep the content. Oh great. Oh, so this is 0th. Now you see you got like 2 different haikus because you had 2 different choices now, and this is all because you put n equals 2. If you run it with default value, default is n is 1, so it always runs with n if you don't provide any variable here. And if you run it this way, so the first one gives error because there is no choice as such. There's only one choice which you can pick. So that is what n means, and how you can have like multiple responses so that you can pick and choose single response whichever you want. Modalities is something that they introduced recently when they introduced this audio preview model. It can generate audio, like whatever response it's giving in text, it can give that as audio as well. So this again, like we won't look at it. Like if you want, based on your use case, you can see these params. Audio again, let's not waste much time. Presence penalty is again something related to performance. Response format is I guess some like some format in which you want. Like, yeah, like you can read this and decide like if at all it's useful or not. There is this other parameter called seed. Now they say like whenever we make this calls, it will always generate like different haikus whenever you rerun it again and again. But then you can give like a random seed number here, so that they say like if specified, our system will make a best effort to sample deterministically. So it will try to be more deterministic, is what they are saying. So let's set it to 1 2 3 or something, and we'll see what it generates. Let's remove this. So now it generated this encodes timeless loops, echoes of small. Let's call this again. Did it generate the same encode timeless loops, echoes of self call again, depths of logic, depths of wave logics dance. Okay, so this last line is a little different. So I guess it tried really hard, but kind of yeah, you get the idea. Like you can just play with these params. Like in many systems we want deterministic response, so this is what this is some things we can try. And the next param is related to the tire. This is probably something that uh, you'll never use if you're not in the corporate, I guess. It's something related to like the latency tire and so on. Like really don't have to care much about this. And then there is this stop parameter. This stop parameter can actually be useful. So like we can mention, I'm removing the seed. So we can mention like, so they say that this is either a string or array. So up to 4 sequences where API stops generating. So basically what we can do is we can mention like, let's say a word where like if this word is generated in the response, it will stop at that word. This is what this means. And then what they're saying is you can provide like 4 different words like this, or string basically. So if at all this kind of string is encountered in the response, it will stop generating there. Basically at all it will stop generating. So just to show you, like let me just say I'll let it say, hi, how are you, the desk looks good. Oh, I removed the code accidentally. So you see it's generating this content. Oh, let me actually print the content here. Hi, how are you, the desk looks good. But let's make this small now. Oh, it's trying to give the capital letter, I guess. How can I, let me remove the punctuation. Oh, it tries to add without any punctuations, without any corrections is what I'll say. Okay, great. So I think it started generating from here. It encountered the word the, and then it saw like the is a stop word, so it stopped here, and this is what you get. It stopped exactly here. So yeah, this is a very great example, the greatest example probably you will ever see for how to use stop. It becomes useful in the projects, you will see later on. But yeah, this is how stop works. And then stream is something probably what ChatGPT does. Even they are saying like in ChatGPT where you actually see like one word coming at a time. It won't. So this is here what is happening is we are sending a request and we are getting the complete response. We are not getting like word by word, so we'll have to wait till it finishes generating the whole thing, and only then we'll get the response. But if you set stream as true, you can actually loop through each word and start getting the stream. Yeah, these are other few other parameters. Let's not dive too much into deep as well. Temperature is another important parameter, I would say. So it's like values between 0 and 2. Higher the value will make the output more random. So they say like uh, LLMs will try to be more creative if you have higher value of temperature, while lower value towards 0 will make it more deterministic. Deterministic is like again like kind of like seed, where you'll hopefully get similar responses again and again after every run. And then top P is also like same like temperature, and here they have mentioned as well, we generally recommend altering this or top P, but not both. So if you're setting one, you need not worry about the other. But if you're setting top P, so top P is also like temperature. It's kind of used for determinism or creativity. It's like the model will consider the result of tokens with top P probability mass. So basically what it means is 0.1 means only the tokens comprising in 10% of probability mass are considered. So uh, like you can squeeze in the probability mass to have like very less token options to be generated if this number is very less, right? So if you want more determinism, you can keep the top P very less, or you can keep the top P very high if you want like creativity. This is a probability value, so it goes from 0 to 1. Tools and tool choices is something related to agents. We'll discuss in depth about these parameters when we talk about agents. These are very interesting and very useful parameters. For now, this is like a big topic, so let's not discuss now and it'll confuse you. Yeah, and anything related to tools, it's basically agents, so let's not worry too much. User is some identification, unique identifier representing your end user to monitor, detect abuse. So this is again like some use case specific thing. Like you can look at it if you are interested in all these things. These function calls they have deprecated. There is tools now instead of this, so it's basically tools. But let's not worry about function calls, since we are going to focus on tools and tool choices now. So these are the parameters that goes in the input. Let's actually see the response format as well for once, so that it becomes like very in depth and you know everything. Hopefully know everything about OpenAI calls. So this is how we get the response. We'll also print it here. If we don't go inside this object and key into any of these, yeah, so you'll get ID, like how they are saying here, ID, and then object. Yes, I found the object. Object is chat completion, and then yeah, created, I think it's the timestamp. Model is the model used. System fingerprint is some ID that is there. And these are the choices. These are the main things that we would worry about. First choice is like the index is 0, as in like the first choice. And this message is the actual message content. And here is the role is assistant, because assistant has generated this message. We'll talk about these role types in chat application video more, but basically you're interested in this content. And more or less in general, always choices will be 0th index for you, unless you are building some really complex thing. You'll set n greater than 1, but for now n equal to 1 is fine, which is the default case, and then 0th index is enough for us. So this content is what we'll be interested in. Log probability is something I think what will be set if we enable some parameters. But yeah, these probs. But yeah, like let's not worry too much about it. Now this is an interesting response parameter that we can worry about. So this is finish reason. Let me take you through this list, in fact. So if you see here choices, and then within choices there is finish reason. So the reason finish reason is the reason why model stopped generating. This is a very important parameter where you will know if the model has stopped because it's a logical stop, or has it hit the context length limit. Now when we saw this, there is like max output tokens, right, for each of the models. So let's say 16k tokens is what our model can generate. But what if you had given a prompt such that it had to generate more than 16k tokens? So it will stop after 16k. It won't generate any tokens after that. It will just randomly stop midway, but it will stop. It will set finish reason as length here in that case if it overshoots by the maximum number of tokens specified. Right here they are saying the same thing. And if it's not length, it will be stop. So here how the finish reason is stop. It means that it is well within the context limit and it is the natural stop. So it says like if model has hit the natural stopping point or provided stop sequence. Basically what it means is here when we print. Yeah. So here if you can see, if I can find finish reason. Yeah, it's the first param, sorry. I was looking at the end. So finish reason here is stop because it started generating here and then it stopped here because of our stopping case as well. But let's actually go to the haiku example itself. And we remove this top one. This is the default message that we send. And here you can see again the finish reason here is stop, since it actually generated the haiku and it wanted to stop. Like there is nothing after this, right, that it can generate. Internally, I feel like it generated some special stop sequence that OpenAI has, and they have it as the stopping criteria. So whenever model generates that, they make it stop and they send back the response with this finish reason as stop. Let's see the other thing. They are saying like it can also be content filter if content was omitted or flagged from the content filters. So basically you can't give like some crazy prompts to OpenAI requests as well, like maybe some abusive words or something like that. In that case it won't generate anything and it will give finish reason as content filter, which will be sad because you won't have any response then. And then there is finish reason as tool calls as well. If model called a tool or a function call, this need not worry, like we'll see more on this when we talk about agents, right? So and then there is usage related things that we'll get in response. Basically how much tokens was your prompt, how much tokens was your completion, and then total tokens, and then this is the number of tokens that will be billed. But yeah, in general each of these models have like different cost price associated for input tokens and output token. We'll talk about pricing as well a little bit so that you know how it's priced. But yeah, these are the usage related stats that we have. And then they have added like some cache tokens. They don't give much information about cached tokens, but cache tokens is basically like if you're sending the exact same prompt again and again, they'll cache it and they'll basically give you the same response that was generated previously. Many times it happens during development that like right now how we are doing, we are basically sending this same prompt again and again. So that's like they'll generate the response once and they'll keep, and they'll use the cached one so that it doesn't generate again, and it costs us less, and it's also time efficient as well. So yeah, that's about the cache tokens. And then reasoning token is something that comes up in O1. So this also, like, we can read about it in detail, but need not worry much about it right now. There is audio tokens as well. That's something related to audio, I guess. And yeah, system fingerprint is, I guess, some housekeeping which we'll never have to worry about, hopefully. So yeah, that's about like the params that we can send and what we get. So hopefully here like what these things mean now, even if we remove choices and just see the completion. Hopefully we are more familiar with all of this, like this ID, and then choices are given with finish reason, and then log props is none because we didn't set it in the first place and we don't care about it. And then there is actual content, which is our actual response from the LLM, the model that it evoked while generating the response. And then there is yeah, these usage related information here. So our input contains 18 tokens and then 22 for sorry, input has 22 tokens and then completion token, output token is 18. So our haiku was not this one but this one, here whatever it generated. So this was basically 18 tokens, and then our prompt was 22 tokens. So our prompt is greater than the actual haiku that was generated, and total was 40. So yeah, that's and the cache tokens is 0, reasoning tokens is 0. Reasoning token is something specific to O1, I guess, so we need not worry much about it. So yeah, that's about input and output. Hopefully you're more confident about using this function, because this is the core call that we'll do, and we'll use this completion. Mostly we'll go inside this choices of 0 messages content. This is how we'll mostly and generally will key into, and we won't care about any of these parameters other than this message content of 0 choice. Let's also discuss pricing a little. So if you go to OpenAI pricing, I'll quickly show you like how it's priced and how to calculate the price. So if you see here, how to read and understand this is, so 4.0, like if we consider 4.0 model, it's $2.5 per 1 million of input tokens. So you saw this input tokens is basically the prompt tokens that are there. This is 22 right now, and accumulatively, like let's say we ran it like 10 times today, so this will only be 220 tokens. But when you reach like 1 million, it'll charge you like $2.5 of input, and then output tokens is basically $10 per million tokens. And then 4.0 comes with cache tokens as well. So there is some different charges for cache, like if it picks up from the cache, then you'll be charged less, basically, like related to the input tokens. And similarly you can find other model prices as well, like this is for audio preview. Let's not worry about the audio models right now. Here for 4.0 you can actually send images as well. So they take it based on the width and height of the image. The price is calculated, so based on your image you can find the price. It's pretty cheap actually. Like even if you see this one, like $2.5 for 1 million, and even $10 for 1 million output tokens, which will take time to reach unless you're generating some books in one go. uh, but yeah, we are just generating some small poems and haikus, which is fine, I guess. So yeah, like you can find like more prices for different models. 4O mini is like even cheaper. Like you can see like $0.6 for 1 million output token. So basically nothing, right? And then yeah, so basically go ahead and go for it. Like don't worry too much. Like build projects, experiment with it. If you're in college, still try to get the card from your parents and get this API, play around. It really won't cost that much, but you'll end up building like amazing projects for your resume, even for your college projects. So yeah, that's about it for the OpenAI setup. Hopefully you will be able to get the API key, run this small code, and then actually get the chat completion. And hopefully you understand like what everything means here. We'll go more detail step by step. But yeah, this is it for now. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I've given my LinkedIn in the description. You can consider subscribing. This is like an ongoing series. So whenever I upload new videos in this series, you can get notified and then use that knowledge maybe. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you.